What's up everybody? Austen McDaniel here, also known as PI on Trail. And today I'll be doing a gear review video of the Outdoor Vitals Skyline 30 Fastpack. This is my first gear review, so if I miss something or I don't quite answer all your questions, please feel free to comment down below and I will do my best to get to you. So, to get into it, I figured I would like to first mention that this pack exactly was given to me. However, I did use this pack on the first 1,500 miles going southbound on the Pacific Crest Trail last year. I bought that pack for myself, and it was only during the hike that the company reached out to me and asked if I could send my pack into them so that way they could kind of look at the wear and tear after something like that. So this exact one they gave to me for free, but it's only because I exchanged my old worn out one and they just wanted to check out the wear and tear. So I don't think that this pack is designed for being taken on a thru hike. However, I think for someone that is going ultralight or has a kit similar to mine, I think this pack is actually probably the best. I think it performed better than most companies who try to do just like the stuff stack style 30-liter packs where they just put on the thick foam pad straps and two mesh bottle holders on the front and they call that a ultralight fast pack. It's not cutting it. I think this is much better. I think it was much better thought out, and I think it actually performed and was executed properly. So to kind of get into it, I think the reason why is because if you look at, for example, the harness system, I mentioned that some of those other packs, they just have thick foam two strap pads and they call that good. I don't think the thick foam is the best. I think that sits on your shoulders and it seems like it would be like nice and cushiony, but it doesn't actually hug around you. This system on this pack, I really liked because it did hug around you. So you'll notice that this is more of like a thin mesh, and this is something you would find in an actual fast pack or something that maybe an ultra runner might use. And yeah, they're really long, they're really wide, and they really cinch around you. You'll notice that there's two sternum straps, and so there is a daisy chain here. You could clip and move it and adjust it to your perfect height. And each one is adjustable in length, and then each one also has a little bit of a stretch give to it, so that way as you're breathing and your chest expands, it kind of stays more comfortable, stays on you there. As far as other clippings and stuff like that, you'll notice that the bottom here, this is also adjustable. So this is to, again, get that kind of perfect fit. If it needs, you don't want the shoulder straps to be going too wide on you, but you don't want them to be too narrow. And with this pack, they really thought it out, and you can make sure to adjust that to the perfect length. I found that was really useful. It wasn't something I had to mess with all the time, but I did find that once I got that perfect fit, it really made a difference. As far as other straps go, there is a hip belt, but like most ultralight packs, this hip belt is really only intended to be there to just keep the pack from bouncing on your back. It's to keep the pack up against you and to fit tight. Before I get back to the vest, because I have the pack this way, I want to mention that the backing of it is actually a built-in foam pad. And I really like the foam pad because it gave a lot of structure to the pack and it made the pack carry better, and it also made it where I didn't have to worry about anything poking me and all that stuff. And so that was worth the weight by itself. But also, they did a good job of it. It's not just a slab of foam. It is shaped for a purpose, and it's to allow the back of the pack to breathe really good. So there's actually some holes here in it, I guess you perforated, and so that allowed for the pack to breathe. It breathed a lot better than other, just say maybe DCF packs or other material packs that they just sit on my back like a slab and they cause heat rashes and stuff like that. So this pack, again, probably the best one that I've used as far as that goes. The breathability was exceptional. Another kind of nice thing about the foam part is when I was pushing the limits with my setup, if I just had a torso length sleeping pad, whenever I slept with my feet on top of my pack to kind of keep them off the ground, it was kind of nice having foam pad instead of just fabric. So anyway, to get back to the shoulder strap slash harness, you'll notice there are two water bottles. These water bottles actually come with the pack because I found that the pockets are a little bit more specific than your typical water bottle holders. They fit a 500-liter bottle really well. And so the ones they provide you are actually Soft Flask by Hydropack. And they do have the little bite tip, so you can just bite the water and suck the water out. You don't have to use your hands. And the first one I had actually kind of malfunctioned right away. It was leaking really bad, and I just kind of tossed it to the side before I even set out on my hike. But I did keep one of them, and just to kind of see how long it would last, and it actually held up for me the entire time I used the pack. So I was extremely shocked by that, and it was really nice having the ability to hands-free just kind of get some water. So the Hydropack flask actually held up really well. For my other pocket though, instead of having, since I didn't have the other flask, I had to find a bottle that fit, and I found that the sparkling water ice bottles, if you can find these, this is also 500 milliliters, I think, 502. I found that this shape and size fit pretty much perfectly as the flask did. And so to have a hard bottle, if you were going to use hard bottles, that was the bottle that I found worked best. I liked having the combination of both, so I could have the hands free. I could have a hard bottle for mixing water and putting my filter on if I needed to as a backup filter bottle. So yeah, the water bottle pockets there worked really good. Part of the water bottle pocket is also this extra layer that you'll notice has a zipper. And so having the zipper means you can put other stuff in there. So like you have really small ditty stuff like chapstick or anything like that. Maybe you have some just some blister tape or something. You could just put that right there. You could probably put like some extra snacks there. I don't think it would fit a phone, but you know, they're there. I didn't really use them very much, but they are there, and the zipper seems nice. The main reason I didn't use them is because if I did have most of that stuff, like say Body Glide, I just put it in this bottom pocket. So there's actually a bigger pocket here. It's not as contained as the zipper pocket, but it does have a little cinch cord. So you could make sure to keep stuff in there. So this pocket was really good for if I had my phone. I didn't really like keeping my phone on the outside of my pack, but if I did have to kind of quickly put my phone up and then get it back out, it was wide enough that my phone would sit in there. I just didn't quite trust it to hold it the whole time. So this is mainly used for something like snacks. So I think that covers it as far as the pockets go. Let's see if there's anything else on the harness. I guess the top up here does have a couple of other attachment points. So if you were to need to put like your Garmin inReach or something like that, you could do that. There's one on both sides. And I believe this material too is also reflective. So if you're running or on trail, someone has a headlamp, they could see you extra quick. I'll mention on the clipping, I had no problems with the clip attachment points. They held up, didn't have any durability issues there. I thought that they were thick enough to not worry about them breaking. Same thing with the hip belt, no issues there. Didn't have any issues with any of the cords or snapping, any of that stuff breaking. So that was all really good. All right, so I've covered the foam pad part, and I've kind of covered this harness a little bit. And I'd like to mention too, if you want to see a guide about how to fit the pack, that's already been done really well. It's on the Outdoor Vitals website, so I would check that out if you're curious about how this actually fits and stuff. So I'll kind of move around. It does have a handle. I'll move around the pack though and start showing off some of the other bigger pockets. So it does have the big mesh pocket that I mentioned, that ultra mesh that's really durable, and it takes up the whole back, so it had plenty of space. Even though it didn't stretch, it had plenty of overall space. So that was really nice, and I found that I could easily put like my rain jackets and stuff like that back there. The side pockets, I think the website says that it's mainly for about 1 liter, because they're not the tallest, and if you try to stretch out with too much material, they'd probably be too loose. So you could maybe fit 2 1 liter smart water bottles, but I think you're better off with like 1 liter, and then maybe some extra small stuff. So that's about the size for that. As far as some strapping, you'll notice there are 2 cinch points here. And so that's really nice, because if you did put, say, like your trekking poles back here, you could fully cinch them up and keep them there. Speaking of kind of trekking pole stuff, there is a ice axe loop and a couple little loops there on the bottom to, if you were to cinch like a maybe like a shelter or anything like that, you could definitely do that. So since I'm showing you the bottom, I guess I'll mention the last pocket. It does have the bottom pocket and it is accessible on both sides. So I really like that because that way I could just like shove my trash during the day, since I am eating so many snacks on the go from the pockets and stuff like that. I needed somewhere to put the trash specifically. And I found that the bottom pocket was really good for that. It's also made out of the same durable mesh, so I had no issues with it getting scratched or torn. And something I didn't really utilize, I guess if you're an ultra runner, this might be nice, it does have this extra zip pocket. So if you needed something to put like really important, you could put that there and kind of hide it away, I guess. So that pocket was really good. Really good. Really like that. Again, the bottom pocket, not the zip one. I didn't use the zip one. Other straps, things to note. There is a big V or Y strap. I like that better than just the single strap because it helps when you cinch stuff on, like a foam pad, or if you to put like a hoodie or something on top of your pack. I felt like having the Y or the V was really nice because it gave more surface area to kind of keep everything on top. And it's all held together by just a big clip. So just your typical clip. It's a little bit thicker than the sternum clips. Again, no issues. And then it has a single adjustment point here with plenty of extra length. So you could make that long enough to really put some stuff on it. So again, I mainly just used it to put my foam pad, but you could probably put a shelter there or something, anything you want. As far as getting into the pack, the top is a roll top, and it is a clip. It clips on itself, so it doesn't clip on the side like some packs do, where they clip down. I kind of wish it had the option, but it wasn't really the biggest problem. And I found, again, these clips, it's a little bit bigger, so it's really easy to grip and get in. And being that that's such an important piece, I had no concerns with that being a durability issue. So big clip, nice. Roll top, plenty of extra space. I mean, that's probably like an extra, over the top, that's probably an extra, I'd say almost 10 inches of space. So if you really needed to push it, you could probably put quite a bit of extra volume in there if you had to. I wouldn't put too much weight into this pack. I found that if you're pushing 20 pounds, that's probably pushing it for the pack, and it is going to start pulling on your shoulders. I think the website also mentions about 20 pounds as being the overall weight that you would want to carry with this pack. But again, it does have this extra long collar, so if you needed to fill in the extra space with some fluffy stuff, you could throw like an extra shirt or something in there. Probably be fine. As far as the inside of the pack, it's just one giant compartment, and not really too much to go into on that. But as far as the cinch top, there is a little bit of Velcro there just to kind of keep the pack closed a little bit better. And so, again, stuff that's nice. A little bit of features on the inside, which I can't really show you the way I'm filming here, but there is a bladder sleeve. So if you had like the Camelback water system doing an ultra race or something, you could slip a water bladder in there. And then there is a port to bring out the hose. So again, stuff I never really used, but it is there. Another thing in here that I kind of used, I think I put my like PCT passport or permit in, is there is a little flap pocket. So I just got a little zipper, and you could put like, maybe use it as a wallet if you're not on a long distance trail. Some things to note about just kind of the space of the pack. I really liked that this pack, if you'll notice, it's not like a skinny tube. It is more square, and that means it's wider. So I really liked the width of the pack, which again, for any like dimensions and stuff, you'd be better just going to the website. But I found that it was wide enough that I could put my shelter, I could put my food bag, I could put my all my sleeping insulation. I could put them as big rectangular blocks. And so it really packed well as far as that goes. And kind of speaking a little bit about the food, the max food carry I got away with this pack was I had a 120 mile, I think maybe 2 different times. I had a 120 mile section, which for me was about a little over 4 days. So I did a 4.5 to maybe 5 day food carry with this pack. Probably pushed it a little bit on the weight overall, but I was able to fit all the food I needed and all my gear. And so to kind of get that extra food, I utilized like the extra space of the mesh, a little bit of extra space back here, and I think maybe even the Y strap, I might have like had my foam pad and then clipped like an extra sandwich or something that I hiked out with. So I found I had no issue really maxing out that spacing. So if you have your gear dialed in and small enough to be in that kind of, you know, under that 10 pound base weight, you're probably compact enough that you could get away with this pack and carry about 2 to 3 days of food and not really have any issue. I guess the last thing I could mention is some of the durability issues I had, which were very limited. Again, the mesh wasn't a problem here. The 100D Robic whatever material of the pack itself was no issue. I had no holes or anything like that. None of the straps broke. The only issue I had a little bit of, which I'll try to show some photos if I can find them, is because the foam pad is like built in the way it is, this is like a mesh kind of over the foam pad, and I actually had where the foam pad sits on the bottom and up against my back, maybe a little bit on my hips, it was starting to wear and tear. So that was something that if I were to continue using the pack, I would have taped up, but I didn't really worry about that since I was sending it back into the company. I think there was also a little bit of wear and tear on this flap here, which you know, is to be expected, but it didn't look like anything that was going to just like tear off or anything like that. So overall durability was top tier. So if I were to compare this to any other pack that I've used, it would probably be closest. It'd probably be closest to the Palante Joey, just because of the harness system. And as far as like the shape of the back of it is pretty similar to maybe the Z-Pack's Nero or Sub-Nero. They're like whatever their small one is. So it kind of has like that shape as far as packing stuff, but it has the Joey, which is that more skinny tube pack. It has like the Joey harness system. So yeah, that's kind of my quick overview / review of this backpack. This is the pack I plan to keep using for most of my long distance backpacking. And if you're curious about like what all gear kind of can go in here and what that might look like, I did just release that video, which I'll try to post somewhere. So if you'd like to check that out, feel free to go ahead, you can ask any questions on there. So yeah, so I hope you liked this gear review video. If you have any questions, again, ask down below. If you have anything else that you see that you'd like me to go more in depth about as far as gear, yeah, let me know down below. My next video will probably be over maybe how I pack my pack, or it might be over some of the systems I carry, so look forward to that. Maybe like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, thanks for watching. Hope to see y'all next time. Bye.